Today we're going to talk about something that's quietly reshaping our lives. And honestly, most of us don't even see it happening. And I'm not just talking about a bad habit. I'm talking about the phone that's literally moved from our hands and set up shop right inside our minds. It's stealing our focus, it's damaging our relationships, and it's even messing with our kids' futures. So yeah, let's get into it.
To really get what's changed, just think back to, say, 1990, right? You'd see kids playing outside, people were talking face to face. Sure, you'd get bored sometimes, but you were present, you were connected. That boredom, it actually sparked creativity. Now, fast forward to today. Picture a family sitting in the same room, but their minds are in four completely different digital worlds. They're all entertained, sure, but they are totally disconnected from each other. And boredom? Forget about it. Boredom now causes instant panic and an immediate reflex to grab that phone.
And this, right here, this is the heart of the problem. See, it's not just that we're losing a few hours here and there. The phone is actively rewiring our brains. It's changing what we enjoy, what feels normal, and frankly, what we can even tolerate. Real life is starting to feel, well, slow and kind of boring by comparison.
So you gotta ask, right? What's the deal here? Why is this little device so incredibly hard to just put down? I promise you, it's not a simple lack of willpower. The real answer, it's found deep inside our own brain chemistry.
This isn't about you being weak or lazy, not at all. It's about your brain being actively trained, almost like you'd train an animal, to repeat a specific behavior over and over again. It's just pure neuroscience, and believe me, it's happening to every single one of us. Let's break down exactly how it works.
So the main character in this story is a chemical called dopamine. And you don't need a PhD to get this. Just think of dopamine as a little reward signal in your brain. When you do something that feels good, your brain releases a bit of it and basically says, hey, that was great. Let's definitely do that again.
And our phones? Oh, they are absolute masters at hijacking the system. It's a simple, powerful loop. You scroll through your feed, you see something funny or shocking or just kind of interesting, and bam, you get a tiny little dopamine hit. Your brain loves that little reward, so what do? You scroll again, hunting for the next one. It creates this powerful, nearly endless cycle. Scroll, reward, repeat.
And here's where it gets really clever. And a little sinister. Think about it. Your phone is basically a slot machine that you carry in your pocket. You pull the lever, by swiping your thumb, and you have no idea if the next thing you see is going to be boring or amazing. It's that uncertainty, that unpredictable reward that is one of the most powerful addiction mechanics known to man.
So here's the bottom line. After hours and days and years of this training, your brain actually gets rewired. It starts to crave constant, fast-paced hits of stimulation. And when it doesn't get that fix, well, real life, having a conversation, reading a book, or just taking a quiet walk, it all starts to feel painfully slow and deeply unsatisfying.
Okay, so that's the science behind how this cycle gets wired into our heads. But what's the actual real-world cost? Because this isn't some victimless habit. The damage is very real, and it's affecting all of us, the adults who are stuck in this loop, and especially the kids, whose developing minds are the most vulnerable of all.
For us adults, the destruction is mostly internal. For one, your focus just shatters. Your brain becomes this jumper, constantly bouncing from one thing to the next, which makes deep, concentrated work almost impossible. You end up feeling mentally exhausted, but you haven't really done anything meaningful. Anxiety spikes from the constant notifications and the endless social comparison. And maybe worst of all, our relationships start to die, not from big fights, but from the silent neglect of just being in the same room, but mentally miles away.
But for children, man, the stakes are so much higher. A child's brain is literally under construction, and screens are directly interfering with that process. We're seeing developmental and even speech delays because a tablet just can't replace a parent's face. Nearsightedness, or myopia, is skyrocketing from all the hours staring at screens up close. And when kids get used to that instant digital gratification, they lose their patience for the real world, leading to meltdowns and poor emotional control. It's a serious problem.
And hey, this damage isn't just happening in our minds. It's in our bodies too. That constant looking down, it leads to what we now call tech neck, and it causes chronic pain in your neck, shoulders, and back. Our wrists and thumbs are getting overuse injuries from all the scrolling and typing. And the combo of eye strain and mental overload, that's a recipe for constant headaches and brain fog. We're just becoming more sedentary, and that messes with our hormones and our overall energy.
Now, I know after hearing all of that, it would be really easy to feel kind of hopeless. But listen, this right here is the most important message of this entire explainer. Your brain is not fixed. It is incredibly adaptable. Just like it was trained for addiction, it can be retrained for control, for focus, and for peace.
So let's totally shift gears. We know the problem, we get the science, we see the damage, so let's talk solutions. Let's talk about how you can actually start taking back control of your own life. And these are simple but powerful things you can start doing today.
The single most important principle to burn into your memory is this: distance kills temptation. It's that simple. The urge, the craving to check your phone is so much weaker when it's not physically on you or right next to you. Making your phone less accessible is the absolute cornerstone of breaking the habit.
So, how do we create that all-important distance? All right, first, you gotta kill all those non-essential notifications. Every buzz, every ping, it's a tiny hook pulling your brain back in. Second, create sacred no-phone zones, like the bedroom and the dinner table. You gotta protect your sleep and your relationships. Third, create a phone parking spot somewhere away from you for when you get home. And here's a big one. Before you pick it up, just pause for a second and ask yourself, wait, why am I picking this up? Just that little pause can break the autopilot reflex. And hey, if you do decide to scroll, fine, but use a timer. That puts you back in control.
Look, to make this even easier, here's a simple 7-day reset plan. On day 1, you just do 2 things. Turn off those notifications and clean up your home screen to make it less tempting. Day 2, you reclaim your meal times. No phone at the table. Easy enough. Day 3, you take back your sleep. The phone stays out of the bedroom. Then, by day 4, you're ready to start building a new habit. A daily 20-minute focus session on something important. No screens allowed. See? Each day just adds one simple habit. This isn't about some massive, painful change. It's all about taking small, steady steps to rebuild your focus and take your life back.
You know, in the end, this is about so much more than just screen time. This is about reclaiming the single most valuable resource you will ever have. Because your attention is your future. Whatever you choose to pay attention to is what your life will become. If you can control your attention, you can literally control the direction of your entire life.
So I'll just leave you with this one question to really think about. When you take a hard, honest look at your daily habits, your thoughts, your impulses, who's actually in control? Is it you or is your phone?